Before this video starts, take 1 second and imagine this. A young waitress on her very first day, a powerful manager, a crowded diner, and one shocking moment that changes everything. What happens next will restore your faith in humanity in the most unexpected way. If stories about courage, justice, and hidden heroes inspire you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who believes kindness still matters. And don't forget to comment below what you would have done in this situation. Now, let's start the video. The dinner rush had just begun when Lily stepped behind the counter for the first time, her hands slightly trembling as she tied the loose strings of her borrowed apron. The smell of fried food mixed with strong coffee filled the air, and the noise of clinking plates and rushed footsteps made her heart race. She repeated the table numbers silently in her head, determined not to mess up. Every smile she offered customers was careful and polite, hiding the nervous energy she carried inside. This job meant everything to her: rent, food, and the fragile chance to start over in a town where nobody knew her past. Rick, the manager, stood near the kitchen door with crossed arms and an impatient stare that made the staff uncomfortable. He had a habit of watching people like they were already disappointing him. Every few minutes he snapped at someone, a cook, a waitress, even a customer. The stress of the evening only fed his temper. When Lily accidentally placed a wrong drink on one table, Rick noticed immediately. His eyes narrowed, his jaw tightened, and he walked toward her with fast, angry steps that made the nearby staff fall silent. Lily tried to fix her mistake quickly, apologizing softly, but Rick interrupted her with sharp words that cut through the noise of the diner. He blamed her for slowing everything down, accused her of being careless, and spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. The customers began watching, uncomfortable but silent. Lily's face burned with embarrassment, and her hands shook harder as she tried to explain she was new. The more nervous she became, the more Rick's anger seemed to grow, as if her fear itself annoyed him. Suddenly, Rick crossed a line that no one expected. His anger turned physical, and in one brutal moment, he knocked Lily to the floor in front of everyone. The sound echoed through the diner like a gunshot. The room froze. Forks hovered in the air. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. No one moved, not because they agreed, but because fear had locked them in place. Lily lay on the floor, stunned. The pain in her face, nothing compared to the humiliation burning inside her. She tried to push herself up, her vision slightly blurred, her heart pounding in her chest. Tears gathered in her eyes, not from weakness but from shock and disbelief. She had run from trouble, not toward it. She had hoped this town would be different. As she looked around, saw no one stepping forward, a quiet hopelessness settled over her. In that moment, it felt like she was completely alone, trapped between a cruel man and a room full of silent witnesses who were too afraid to help. The door opened, quietly at first, but the change in the air was immediate. A tall man stepped inside, carrying a motorcycle helmet under one arm, his leather jacket worn and marked with patches that many people recognized, but few truly understood. His eyes moved slowly across the room, taking in the frozen faces, the tense manager, and the young woman on the floor. He did not rush. He did not shout. His calm was heavier than anger. He walked forward with steady steps, the sound of his boots echoing softly against the tile floor. He stopped beside Lily and offered his hand. "Take it easy," he said gently. She hesitated, then accepted it, rising slowly to her feet. Her legs felt weak, but his presence felt strangely safe. He turned toward Rick, his expression unreadable but firm. "You don't touch people like that," he said, not loudly, but clearly enough that every person in the diner heard him. Rick tried to laugh it off, muttering something about discipline and mistakes, but the sound was thin and nervous. The biker didn't argue. He simply stared at Rick until the man's confidence collapsed, under the weight of being truly seen. The room seemed to breathe again, as if everyone had been holding their breath without realizing it. The biker asked Lily quietly if she was hurt. She nodded slightly, then shook her head, unsure how to answer. He told her help was coming, already dialing his phone. His voice was calm, respectful, describing what had happened without exaggeration or drama. When the authorities arrived, Rick's anger had vanished, replaced by panic and excuses that sounded empty in the quiet diner. Witnesses finally spoke, their voices shaky but honest. The truth filled the room now, and it was louder than any shouting had been. Rick was led away, still talking, still trying to control something that was no longer his to control. Lily watched him go, feeling something inside her slowly release. Like a tight knot finally loosening, the biker stayed until everything was settled. He made sure Lily had a ride, made sure she wasn't alone, made sure someone from the diner offered her support instead of silence. Before he left, he gave her a small, reassuring smile. "Not everyone is cruel," he said simply. "Don't let one person convince you otherwise." Then he walked out, his presence fading as quietly as it had arrived. Long after he was gone, the diner felt different. People spoke softer. They looked at one another more carefully. Lily sat by the window, holding a warm cup of tea someone had made for her, watching the sky darken outside. The fear was still there, but it was no longer in control. In its place was something fragile but powerful, the belief that kindness still existed, that strangers could become protectors, humanity could still choose to stand up and be counted, and that even in moments of violence,